continuing to cover wrestling on virtually no sleep is not always that easy, but that's alright. I'll just gut this one out just like David Von Erich did in Japan in February of 1984. Anyway, I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Raw from San Antonio, Texas. And my fucking goodness, the way some of this show was put together and the way the crowd was super lackluster for quite a bit of it, not that I necessarily blame them, you would have thought that Joe Blanchard's Southwest Championship Wrestling was still in business some 37 years after it went out of business. If anybody knows anything about Southwest Championship Wrestling, please let me know in the comments. But yes, this show, fucking hell, well, it started hot. It started with the Bork laser. The Bork Antonio man is here, and he was all happy. He's the most, decorated wombat sports athlete that has ever existed in WWE. I think I said that right. And he's got the cowboy hat, and he's all happy and everything, and he just talks about how Roman is sitting high on the hog, eating like a king, but he hunts hogs every day on his farm. What kind of farm does he have? You know what? I really don't want to know. There is that picture floating around of him dressed like a Viking, and he had gutted, God knows what that was. It looks straight out of a goddamn horror movie. And he talks about basically just, killing hogs and doing a whole bunch of stuff, and he is going to feast on Roman Reigns. And then here's Heyman. And speaking of hogs, Bork says, and talks about the 3 little piggies went to town. What's your point, Paul? Are you going to say anything good? This feels samey because there's only so many ways you can just kind of say the same shit. Like this is supposed to be the last chapter. Bullshit. It's not going to be the last chapter. These two are going to fight forever and a day. That's never. What Brock seemed motivated. Heyman was doing the best he could. He did mention something about Roman reaching up Brock's ass to pull his heart out his hole. Something like that. And then here's Theory, and then Bork just blows him off. So Brock says, I don't care about you. Theory shares the Elimination Chamber recaps, and then doesn't share, the clips of the Madison Square Garden squash, where then Roman showed up and beat up Brock just before their, I guess, decent, Mania 38, Night 2 main event, the most stupendous 2-night WrestleMania in history. Alpha Academy shows up, by the way. Theory said some stuff, and I just don't care. I don't find Theory interesting, so moving on. Bork lays out Gable, just throwing him around, and F5's Otis through the announcer's table. It's like a couch with a taint, the way they shot that. You're welcome for that image. You're never going to get it out of your head. A couch with a taint. So, yeah, this certainly existed. I did, of course, like how Bork was using the steel steps to a way to step up the intensity. Not everybody that hates puns shut this off. Let's continue. All right. They changed the whole idea of, I know cards subject to change, but they had a couple things lined up. It was going to be Riddle versus Theory and a Lashley open challenge for the U.S. Championship. Okay. It's now a tag match and Rollins is involved. Yay. Card subject to change, pal. Such good shit. So Mysterio, both Mysterios come out and we go to break. Look, I'm just going to say right now, the Dominic experiment is not fucking working. Balor and Priest show up. Priest cuts a bit of a promo. He has bass in his voice, but it's not very good verbiage. And Balor's fine when it's short and sweet. It's just not. This whole Judgment Day thing wasn't really all that good with Edge, and it's even worse now. They went from maybe NWO 99, 98, 99, and they've gone, I'm talking as far as like it just feeling samey and stale. Now it's NWO 2000. May not even be that good. And they want Dominic and Judgment Day because apparently they want to finish off any credibility that Judgment Day has. No, I don't despise Dominic. Why would you think that? Well, Edge is gone. He's never coming back, despite the vignettes we keep fucking seeing. And then Balor says, you're a bad fada. Austin Powers Faja. Or a bad farter. I don't really know what he's saying. The accent was very thick. The match starts during the break. We are 30 plus minutes into the show before we get to see any in-ring action, because they brawl and then we go to break. It's Mysterio versus Balor, and Priest is in Balor's corner. Dominic is in Mysterio Ray's corner, obviously. Look, the match was fine. Ray did sell his knee, and this action was pretty good. It's just the fact this is the first time ever, and it was after a samey Brock Heyman thing and stuff we've seen Brock do before, and then more talking. By the time we got to this, great, the crowd was up for some of it. He did hit the Bloody Sunday, aka the 1916, and got to stomp for 3. It was fine. Wasn't a bad match, but it just was there. And then Becky makes her entrance. Apparently she skinned another chandelier to make a jacket. She wants her title back at SummerSlam. And then Bianca versus Carmella for the Raw Women's Championship. What ancient totem did I knock over and desecrate to have to deal with Carmella in the goddamn wrestling ring again? I mean, look, I've seen half-eaten animal corpses that somehow can move better than Carmella does. She's not any good. She's not worth a good goddamn in the title picture. This was abysmal. This went on forever. A Goldberg biography ad, by the way, which will be interesting to talk about his iconic streak and also the stuff with Brett. And I wonder if you can guess who I'm going to side with. Jesus, Bianca should have beaten her in 5 minutes. I mean, granted, some of the shit they had on the show, maybe they had to make this go long, but really, this was the best they did? And then Becky ends up distracting Bianca after Bianca got, poked in the eye. But Carmella hit the post. Carmella got tossed back in, and then Bianca ends up getting distracted by Becky stupidly, so Carmella wins. Corey's commentary was abysmal here, by the way. When Corey grazes off commentary for good, we will be happy, or he could lose his voice completely. I don't really goddamn care at this point. And then KOD to Carmella. This was stupid. We're going to probably get another 3-way at fucking SummerSlam. At least Carmella can hopefully take the goddamn pin. But that means we're going to have to watch Carmella, trying to hang with Becky and Bianca when she can't even come close to hanging with them on their absolute worst day. And even then, they're still miles ahead of Carmella. Bianca deserves better is what I wrote down. Now, I'm not... Please do not have Bianca lose the championship there. Here's Miz and Ciampa for another Miz TV segment. And we go to break. We get an Edge vignette. Another Miz TV segment. I swear, the year will be 2050. Half the world will be radioactive. Bitch, it's radioactive. Most of the population will be dead. And somehow another Miz TV segment will be popping up on the USA Network. Logan Paul wants nothing to do with The Miz, but he wants to face The Miz at SummerSlam. I mean, I understand what they're trying to say. It's just the verbiage of it. Styles shows up. Promos are not his thing. And, of course, he has issues with Ezekiel. Just showing up, he looked confused. The ultimate Ezekiel community just kept talking. Oh, by the way, balls were mentioned because Mrs. Balls. Because funny. And it's Styles and Ezekiel. It's supposed to be Styles versus Miz and Ciampa in a handicap match. This was certainly a match that went on way too long. They had nothing for this show. They had absolutely nothing for this. Ciampa ends up attacking Styles and attacking him too long, and the referee calls for the DQ after a while because the illegal person kept attacking, so we called for a DQ, which sort of, I guess, would make sense, except they don't necessarily establish it all that much, and they only use the rule a little bit here and there. Yes, you can do that to go to rematches, but does anybody want to see any of these people compete again? It's going to be Styles and Logan Paul against Miz and Ciampa, and watch it be that Logan Paul is going to turn and rejoin Miz and Ciampa. I don't know. I don't care at this point. I really don't. Lashley and Riddle are talking. By the way, you remember when Riddle was U.S. champion? You shouldn't. It was rubbish. And they kept mentioning Stranger Things. Fun fact, I have not seen one episode of Stranger Things. It's not that I pride myself on it, I just never have. If you watch Stranger Things, let me know if I should watch it. Alexa makes her entrance. Right into a pause of fury, whatever. A pause of furry, a furry fury. That trailer, that, thing that looks like Kung Fu Panda threw up on like a DreamWorks from Austria production. It just doesn't look very good. It looks like a knockoff version of an animated movie. Asuka and Alexa took on Piper Niven and Nikki Ash. Jesus Christ, the crowd goes mild. Easy for me to say. Help me, Spock, help me. Alexa pins Nikki. I didn't care. And this has Asuka in it. Look, I'm not a big fan of Alexa, but this I don't know what they're doing. A lot of the women's divisions just seem directionless. Like Bianca's champion of Raw, Liv's a champion of SmackDown. Though that's good. Those are two good, champions and two, champions you can build. Everything else just feels directionless. Then the bell rang way early because the Usos are here to cut a promo. Another promo, same as it ever was. The Profits also talk, same as it ever was, as the days go by. Truth is here. He's a tag team counselor and also a referee. And then he's going to be the referee, but then they kind of, oh God, the Usos call him a clown ass, says, you want to see this clown ass fight? And then it's going to be 3-on-2. And then suddenly, MVP and Edward James almost show up. Oh boy, just what I want to see. The Nigerian nail. Wait, that was Commander Aziz. What happened to him, by the way? I think he's gone. We get a beat down, by the way. The heels are standing tall, and we go to break. And then we come back, and it's a 6-man tag. By the way, they really are heavily advertising Liv as the SmackDown Women's Champion for the SmackDown ads. That's good. It ain't gonna last long, but I'm glad that Liv's getting her moment. I really hope it lasts a while. I hope she holds it until Mania. She won't, but I hope she does. The Profits and Truth took on Usos and Edward James almost. I thought Dawkins really hurt himself on a dive just before the break. Glad he's all right. That looked pretty brutal. Commentary kept noticing how Montez increased the size of his muscle. Also, fuck the person who stole Bianca's Survivor Series gear. Montez is a former Marine, I believe. He's former military in some respect, and I would not mess with the guy. Why would you do that? Fuck that person for doing that. Edward James almost pins Dawkins when Truth was right there. Truth, by the way, is 50. He turned 50 in January. And the guy can still move pretty goddamn well. He might be able to wrestle another 10 years as long as he does it sporadically. That's a hell of a goddamn career. Recaps of Bork and the Alpha Academy. Steve Patrick interviews Seth Pheasant Rollins as his new name, and then he knocks Riddle. And then Theory shows up. Hey, I want money in the bank. Can you give me advice? Kid, you've come to the right place. And then another Edge return vignette where a bunch of merch is burning to hype his feuds and everything, his previous feuds. SummerSlam plug, Miz recaps. And Logan Paul will be here next week. God, be still my beating apathy. Lashley makes his entrance. Riddle comes out with rhinoceroses coming out of his goddamn feet. Seth Pheasant Rollins and Theory make their entrance. 14 minutes left for Lashley and Riddle versus Seth Pheasant Rollins and Theory. Why am I calling him Seth Pheasant Rollins? Because after I saw that jacket at Money in the Bank, I can't unsee it. That's what he is. Suddenly Ziggler shows up. Okay, that's weird. We haven't seen Ziggler for a while since he had that brief run in NXT, facing off against Braun Rex Steiner. And then he just shows up. Okay. Then Ziggler's just sitting at ringside. Riddle got targeted for a while. Lashley got the hot tag. And then Riddle and Theory got back in. Theory tried to cheat by putting his feet up on the rope. And Ziggler suddenly knocks his feet off. And Theory's wondering what the fuck. Gets hit with an RKO 1, 2, 3. And then Ziggler hits him with a super kick. Okay. I don't exactly know why we are trying to make Ziggler a thing in 2022. Almost said 2012, except that's when he won Money in the Bank. Are him and Theory going to fight over the Money in the Bank briefcase? Like the Jericho Ziggler thing from 2012? Except that feud was actually kind of interesting. I don't know what the... I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know what this was. There was not a lot to the show, as you can tell by, just me throwing around jokes and everything. I have not seen a Texas show this lifeless since a world-class roster in 1988. And that was just the crowds. Hey-o. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.